Another great show brought to you by the Law of Attraction Radio Network. The Think, Believe, and Manifest Show with author, master trainer, and certified dream coach, Constance Arnold. Join us every week as we bring you life-changing information that will empower your life. And here's Constance.
Well, hello, everyone, and welcome to the Law of Attraction Radio Network. And I am Constance Arnold, your most gracious host. And today, of course, I am broadcasting live from hot Atlanta, Georgia. And I'm so excited that you've joined me today. And I am in agreement with you that as you listen to this podcast, that you will be inspired, expanded in your consciousness, and you would be encouraged. And my prayer also is that God will download specific answers that you need that will help you to begin to bring into your life or to manifest into your life the answers and the desires of your heart. Are you ready for that? I know that I am. Well, how are you doing? Can you believe that it is already summertime here in the U.S.? I'm doing extremely well. I've had a great week just coming back from a little R&R. And it is a hot, hot day here in Atlanta, and summertime is slowly approaching. We can all feel it here. Well, it is Memorial Day weekend here in the U.S., and for my international listeners, that's what you would call holiday. This is the day or the holiday where we really celebrate all of our veterans who have really paid the ultimate price with their lives for our country. So we're celebrating holiday this weekend. And so most of us will be really in a spirit of gratitude here in the U.S., really grateful for our freedom and really grateful for all the men and women who are serving us and who have served us. So I just want to give a special thanks and a special shout out to all of our people in all of the military. Well, once again, I just love hearing from all of you. I get your emails. Of course, if you want to visit me on Facebook, you can do that. I just love reading your emails. You can follow me on Facebook at Constance Arnold, and you can search for me. And I would love to be your friend, and you can kind of follow me and find out what I'm doing every day. And I think every day I put some awesome, encouraging quotes and inspirational ways of thinking on Facebook so that you can really go there every day and get some of the inspiration that you need. Additionally, I'm really grateful for all of you who are really taking advantage of my pay-as-you-go coaching. You know, I always say that sometimes a person's life can begin turning around within 2 or 3 sessions. So just imagine 2 or 3 sessions from now or 2 or 3 weeks from now, you could be bringing more money into your life, attracting love, or manifesting other miracles in your life. So these commercials will really give you more insight into my services and products. And so after this quick commercial break, I'm going to be right back with the dynamic duo. My very special guest is Mr. Peter Adams, and he has his beautiful wife Robin with him, and we're going to be talking about how you can begin to use an hour of power to create daily miracles in your life. I cannot wait.
You're listening to Law of Attraction Radio Network, enhancing the well-being of millions of listeners worldwide. LOARadionetwork.com is heard through 25 different internet radio stations, as well as iTunes Radio, Stitcher.com, and our mobile apps. The Law of Attraction Radio Network, your trusted source of daily inspiration, at LOARadionetwork.com.
Hello, I am Constance Arnold, your success coach. It is the beginning of 2012, and are you ready for change? Just imagine starting your new business or working in a career that you truly love, or possibly attracting your soulmate. With my 25 years of experience, coupled with your eagerness to do the work, you can create immediate, outrageous results. We can partner together to begin creating unlimited possibilities in your life. So visit my website today at fulfillingyourpurpose.com and take a look at the varied coaching packages custom designed to fit your very lifestyle. Remember, you are worth the investment. Okay, well, welcome back, and really, just as I said, email me at Constance at fulfillingyourpurpose.com if you have any questions about my services and our products. And guess what? I'm really excited because I'm going to be coming to some of your cities actually speaking, and during the upcoming months, I'll let you know what those dates are, and I possibly might have the opportunity to meet you in person. I would love to sit down and spend a little time with you. Well, I am so excited about my show today. I know I say that every week, but every week I'm truly excited. I have back with me for the third time. I have Peter Adams, and Peter is the author of Visualfestation, How to Visualize and Manifest the Life of Your Dreams. You guys remember Peter. He's the guy with the 12 crazy dreams, and all of them were manifested. But today, he has his beautiful wife, Robin Adams, with him, and they're going to be talking about the hour of power, how we can begin to change our lives and begin to create miracles just utilizing that awesome hour of power. And I cannot wait to hear what they have to say. So, Pete and Robin, welcome to the Law of Attraction Radio Network.
Well, thanks, Constance. We're really excited about being on your show again.
Thank you, Constance, for having me as a guest on your show today.
Well, Peter, I love you, but I think I love your wife a little bit more. She and I have become great friends because Robin is sort of my half-marathon walker, runner coach, and she's really helping me and encouraging me in that arena. But I'm just really excited about what this dynamic duo is doing. So let's get started. Peter, for my listeners who have not heard you or they may not remember before, can you just briefly describe your whole visualfestation system, and then let's talk about how did you within that incorporate your hour of power with Robin. Go ahead.
Constance, I'd love to. In my book, Visualfestation, we talk about the system of techniques that we developed, and I've used in my own life to create miracles. And a real huge piece of that is what I call my hour of power. And every single morning, I practice my hour of power. And what I do is I go to the beach each morning, weather permitting, which is usually it's pretty nice here in Florida. And what I do is I go through a series of exercises that include having a lot of gratitude and visualization. But to walk through what I actually do now that I'm practicing is I will get to the beach and relax for a few moments and just get in tune with nature. And then what I'll do is, once I'm relaxed, I will pull out some verses from the Bible that are really inspirational. I'll read those, and from there, what I'll do is I'll read my goals that I have, and after that, I actually go through and read my I am cards, which are actually my affirmation statements. And the affirmation statements are statements that are supportive of the goals I have that I'm working on currently in my life. And once I've run through that, I typically then will open up my vision book. And for people who are not familiar with a vision book, the vision book is kind of like a portable vision board that I carry down to the beach every day in a bag. And inside that book, I've got, like I said, I've got more spiritual verses that just resonate with me. And I also have pictures of places and things I want to achieve in my life. And I'll roll through that book. And the most powerful thing is, which is really amazing when people start doing this, is I get to the back of my book, and the very last 2 pages are the Vision House, which is chapter 3, and also the picture from Triathlete magazine when I manifested winning the lottery for the Ironman Hawaii. So when I finish up with that book, I know the power because I've used the system to manifest miracles in my life, and it's extremely powerful. After I go through the vision book, what I would do then is I would do a scripting exercise. And in the scripting exercise, I go through what I call my ideal scene. And I write out my perfect life in the present. It's actually like I am living all the miracles I want to manifest. I'm having gratitude now for them and giving great thanks. And I'm just in there and I'm just really enjoying it. And when I do the scripting piece, it's almost like a written visualization, right? Because I can really feel the emotion. And once I've got the emotion really going, I'll go from there. And I'll start doing my visualization exercises, where I hop into my dream world, which is already happening for me, and I'm going through my day, and I'm really getting into the feeling of having all these miracles having already manifested, and I can feel it. It's just so powerful. And when I'm done with the visualization exercise, I typically then will use what's called the pink bubble technique, where I'll wrap the whole scene in a pink-colored bubble, and I'll just watch it float off into the heavens. And I just release it, and I let it go to the universe to get busy on. And finally, after I've done all that, I will then sit down and I will rewrite all my goals on a 3x5 index card, and I carry that card with me throughout the day. And just so I know what I'm working on, my goals are with me, and I know that it's happening. So that's in a nutshell, Constance, a pretty big nutshell. That's the actual hour power experience that I practice every morning, and that's a real powerful thing. Is you build on these exercises. So every time you go to that place, you build on having your dream reality being in the now and here. It just gets closer every time you do that exercise, and eventually it will show up.
I mean, I could spend 2 days just talking about what you just shared, and we will come back and revisit that with Robin, but it sounds like that you have, you're grateful for what you have. You rewrite your goals. You have scripture that you're meditating on. You do your I am, and then you script where you're writing your life as it is, and you talked about putting the emotion behind it. That's so awesome. I could see why you and Robin are so successful. And, before I bring Robin in, I remember a prophet told me, Pete and Robin, many years ago, he said, Constance, if you would set aside 1 hour for prayer, meditation, and reading scripture, you would see miraculous miracles in your life. And I can tell you personally, where I am today is really because of that hour of power, because just like you, almost every day, you've encouraged me a little more. Every day, like today, I spend an hour in prayer and meditation. And when I do that, it really sets me up for creating miracles. And we're going to come back and revisit this. So, Robin, Peter has been doing this for a while, and I know you two have been happily married for 25 years, and you're still so in love. I can tell when I talk to you. And so can you tell our listening audience how long you've been working with Peter with this visualization system?
Sure, Constance. Thank you. It's really hard to believe that we've been married over 25 years. And you're right. We are a great team, and it's been a great 25 years, and I'm looking forward to the next 25. As you know, Constance, I'm new to my journey here. I have always had this in me, but I didn't know I had it in me. I've been using the system for about 90 days now, and I absolutely love it. It has given me a sense of power within myself that, like I said, I didn't know I had it. I'm actually excited every morning to get up and get down to the beach and get started. And we have been doing this now for about 3 months, and I can feel the energy between us even more than I could before. And it's just great. I feel almost like a kid again, being in the dream state of being a co-creator and being able to have fun with the process and the system and the techniques. It's almost like being a director of a movie. I can write out my ideal scene. I can write out my goals, and I can see it, and extremely powerful.
Well, Robin, it's so interesting. Here, Peter is the author of Visualization, and, you certainly have been there to assist him, and you're just right behind the scenes assisting him, but you had not totally gotten involved in the visualization system. So what do you think prompted you, or what do you feel like moved you into really moving into practicing this system with your husband?
Sure, Constance. That's actually a great question, because I've had to do some reflecting on that, because I've been asked that question a number of times already. And I think probably the biggest, I'm not actually sure exactly when it happened. I think that I have been moving in this direction for quite a while. I'm a little more reserved than Pete. Pete is very much a go-getter, and when he makes a decision, he's made that decision and he just runs with it. I usually have to take a step back and kind of think about things and process them. And so Pete writing the book actually was very empowering for both of us, and I think he'll agree. He reads his book himself. He listens to the audio CD in the car, and I think it was a combination of him writing the book, getting some amazing feedback from people that have read the book, and I'm realizing that I can do this too, and how powerful would it be for us to do it together?
Right.
And it just it has totally inspired me to hear other people talk about how his book has helped them, and I've just totally embraced it.
Right. And it's so interesting because the Bible says where any two shall agree as touching anything or having anything. And I want all of my people out there who are married, or maybe if you're not married, if you need to come into agreement with someone. There's very power, and it's very synergistic when people come together. And it's just so powerful that the two of you all are really practicing this hour of power, which will probably has already and will create miracles in your life. So, Robin, so far, you've been practicing these techniques, and how has it changed your life, and have you seen any manifestation in just your own life personally as a woman?
Constance, I think for myself personally, it's about believing in myself and about having the faith that I could do this myself. I mean, it's great that we're doing it together too, but and so many of our goals obviously are the same. We are moving in the same direction, obviously, and of course, all of the major goals are things that we both want to achieve in our lives. And so I think it's more about Pete has always been extremely supportive of me in whatever I wanted to do in my life. I didn't necessarily believe that I had the power within myself.
Right. That's a great point, Robin. For people who really have a desire to manifest, they may not feel that confident, or their self-esteem may not be that great, or they may project success on somebody else or say, oh, he could do this or she could do it, but I could never do that. So what you've done is personalize your own relationship with God or spirit, and even though the two of you are a dynamic duo, each person really has their own individual path spiritually where they can come together and merge with another person.
I would agree with that. I think that Pete has always allowed me to be my own person, but we're great separately, but we're even better together, and the power of doing this together. And Pete will talk about this, some new techniques that we're doing during the hour of power, but being able to have somebody else that's supportive and that believes in you and has faith in you is, of course, very empowering in itself. But having it in your heart and in your soul is where I am now, and that's just a great feeling.
Well, that emanates from your very being, Robin. I can feel that, and I can sense a difference in you. You seem much more, I don't know, peaceful or calm. There's something different about you, and I can feel it all the way here in Atlanta, GA. So, Peter, coming back to you, Peter, I know that you have many techniques, and as you were sharing what you do on the every morning on the beach, I was thinking, oh, my God, I need to do that again. You have such great techniques, and that's why I love your book and your work, because you really break it down for people so that they can begin to implement it in their lives. So can you share with our listeners some of the new stuff you have or the new techniques that you've developed when using or practicing your hour of power?
Sure thing, Constance. I'd love to. One of the great things about having Robin start practicing the visualization system, and we came up with this technique, we call it our power partner technique, and it really came about almost by accident. And what happened was, after the first time we don't sit next to each other, we sit far apart, we sit like probably 30 meters from each other. And she does her thing, I do mine. But after we're done with the hour of power, the first time this happened, we got together, we put our chairs together, and it was kind of like, Rob was like, well, I'm not sure if I'm doing this right. So what we did was, I said, read back to me, tell me what you did, and read back to me what you wrote. And let me tell you, Constance, this was so powerful. I could not believe it. What happened was, Robin's reading back her ideal scene to me and her gratitude, and I've got this feeling of joy, love kind of feeling that just almost overwhelmed me. It was like, wow. What happened was, and it felt like the emotion was just off the charts. I mean, it took creating the vibration and just send it into overdrive. And what I realized, too, is when I read back my scripting to Robin, it had the same effect on her, but it had the same effect on each of us. So it's just like I'm hearing what she's reading, and it's really resonating in my soul. And then I'm reading what I wrote. And when I read back aloud what I wrote in my scripting exercise, I was about bawling for crying out loud. I was tears in my eyes. It was just so beautiful. And we just came up with this, like I said, almost by accident. So that is by far the most overwhelming thing we've come up with so far. And another thing that's pretty cool, and I really enjoy doing this.
Peter, let me ask you this. So do you and Robin feel closer intimately? Do y'all feel closer spiritually? Has your relationship changed and gone to a higher level?
It's really just going to a higher level, because I think it's really, we've always had a wonderful relationship, but now we're getting like a spiritual relationship together and with Source. Mm-hmm. So it's kind of like we're connecting with each other, we're connecting to God, and it's just I don't have words. I mean, it's you've got to experience it to describe it, because it's really almost indescribable.
Well,
can I add something to that, Constance?
Yes, Robin sounds happy, and she's laughing, Peter, so that's a big sign. So go ahead, Robin.
It is an extremely powerful technique, and I don't know that Pete expressed enough about the feelings. As I said, our goals are very much in alignment, and this is kind of funny. I think it was yesterday or the day before, we were reading back our goals to one another, and they were in the exact order with one another. Like, for instance, my first goal was exactly his first goal, and I think it was the first 3 or 4 were in the same order. But the feeling piece of it for me is the big thing. And the energy that we generate once we have read back our ideal scene, or we've talked about the visualizing, what happened in the visualizing, and how did it feel? And we both experience, many times experience these tears of joy, because we just know that it's all here.
Mm-hmm. Well, good. Well, thank you for sharing that. And so, Peter, what are some other techniques, new techniques that you've come up with? I mean, I'm still trying to grasp the old, doing the scripting and gratitude and I amness and having it now and the emotion behind it. But what else could you share with our listeners?
Okay, well, there's more, I'm happy to say, Constance. And this new technique, I actually got it from a good friend of mine. His name is Miles Blunt, and he's a wonderful practitioner of law of attraction. He's just an amazing man. And he taught us this technique in a class Rob and I recently took that was presented by him and another gentleman named Mary Fiotti. And they taught us this thing, they call it the grid. And what I did was, on their grid, it's just like, there's like boxes and all these emotions connect. And as long as you stay in these emotions and you stay on the grid, you stay in this, this great vibration, this great feeling place. But what I do is I kind of change it a little bit to what works with me. And what I do now is I'll do a second visualization exercise. And this, I call it my grid exercise. And I'll take one of the really, really big goals I have. And what I'll do is I'll start seeing the goals manifesting, and I'll see all these events happening, and I'm living these events, and I'm just really, really, really getting into the emotion of what these events feel like. And let's say I do like 10 or 12 of these different like sub events in a row when I'm in my ideal scene, it's unbelievable. I'm having these feelings running through me while I'm doing these visualizations. But it's almost like a compounding effect. It's hard to describe. It's probably one level below what the power partner feeling is like, but it's amazing. And I can't thank Miles enough for sharing this with me, and these will be some of the new techniques we'll be talking about in the next book. But it's just really, really powerful.
Okay, so Peter, someone who wants to attract more money, let's just walk through that grid process, what that would look like, that grid technique. So someone who wants more money, what would that look like for them to do that every day?
Okay, great one. What it would look like, because I've got something similar. Mine has to do with having massive abundance. And I'll kind of walk through what I see when I do mine. And because Rob and I were very active in philanthropy, we love it. So one of the big things is I see us going to different events, and this is when I'm on the grid running these visualizations, and I'll actually see myself at like a banquet, and I'll see one of the wonderful causes that we help. One of the causes we've helped in the past is a local charity here in Tampa, Florida, and it's run by an amazing gentleman. And he helps physically challenged kids in a special parks program, and it's real grassroots. So I'll see us being at the award ceremony, and I'll see all the kids going up and getting their awards, and I'll just have this amazing feeling of joy that I was able to help these kids. And I've been to that function before, and when I was there, I just get totally choked up. I have try not to know, the table in the back is all crying. So right. I'll have that emotion, and then I'll take that emotion to another charity, which another one is up in the Breck Outdoor Education Center up in Breckenridge, Colorado, and they have an adaptive ski program. So I'll see myself helping blind people ski down the mountain, and I'll just have this amazing joy. And then from there, I just go, another thing would be, paying off a friend or a relative's house, and I'll have that emotion. I'll see them say, "Thank you so much." So it's just like it's that emotion. You have to. It's not about getting the money. It's about what you can do with the money, because the money by itself doesn't really have any. It doesn't feel like anything. So you've got to create a feeling of joy of having that money or having that abundance, and all the wonderful things you can do with it. So I would say, write down all the great things you do. If you say tomorrow you woke up and you had $1 million, and really get into the feeling of that, and then hop on the grid and run through that visualization where you're doing that everything you said you would do. Maybe you're buying your mom a house, or sending your kids to college, or maybe it's buying a boat or a car, whatever gives you the joy.
Wow, I love that technique. Do you have anything else for us, Peter?
Of Cool. Well, that's the last one is an easy one, but it's a great one to share. And I got it from another guy from the Meter Group up in Palm Harbor, Florida. Guy named Paul, and I call it the universe's to-do list. And what I do each day is I take an index card. One side I put my goals on it, and I put down what I'm going to do during the day, and on the other I put me at the top. And on the left-hand side, I write on the top of the card, I write the universe. So all the really, really big stuff, I just load up on the universe's side. So all the new crazy goals, well, I put that on the side of the universe and let the universe go to work on it. And it's fun. That's the biggest thing. It's like, you put it on the universe's side, you don't have to think about it because it's taken care of. Like, the universe is taking care of it, I don't need to worry about it. Because by putting it on the universe's side, it kind of it almost makes you stop thinking about it because you've delegated the task to another source, so you don't need to think about it, which is great.
Well, that's so good. And Robin, you mentioned the whole emotional piece, and Peter, you two both can jump in here because I think it's so important, the emotion behind and the feeling behind the picture of having it now. Not I'm going to be wealthy, but you're putting yourself in the feeling, in that picture, in your imagination. You're putting your I amness in the now. So, Robin or Peter, just explain how important that is.
I'll go first. It's so important because it's all in the now. Because if you say it's in the future, it'll never be here because it'll always be in the future. So and you can't feel how things are going to be. Well, when it happens, I'll feel this way. Well, doesn't work like that. You feel it first, and then it shows up, and then you have to have the feeling all over again, and you have the joy because. To be in the now is to be in the faith of trusting God that it's true, rather than hoping it comes. I hate when I hear people say, "Well, I hope that happens." Because that hope is like so weak. Mm-hmm. It's like it's going to happen, and I know it's going to happen. I believe it's going to happen, and I'm giving thanks for it happening, and I'm giving thanks for it happening now because I know it's done. And that's you operate from that spot. That's where all the power is because you've got serious faith, and there's nothing can't be done with serious. If you got the faith to do it, the miracles will show up.
Right. And the Bible talks about how faith is now. God is the same yesterday, today, and forever, and how we live in the eternal now, and how if it's not now, it's not faith. And so I think it's so important that listeners clearly hear and understand that anytime they project, well, I'm going to be wealthy, or I'm going to be married, or I'm going to have a baby, that you're pushing your good into the future. But the whole principle is I have it now, and you put the feeling behind that. Robin, you want to say something about that?
Yes, Constance, I agree with what both you and Pete just said. The emotion and the feelings are probably the most important part of it. But for me, when I first started, it was a little difficult to write the ideal scene out or to write the goals out as if they've already they're already here. It really kind of goes against, I think, what most of us learn when we're younger. You can't have something until it's out in the future, and you don't act as if it's here in the present. So for me, it was a little hard at first to get into that. But once I made the turn and I was able to write out the goals as having them now and write out the ideal scene, bring it now. And it's not, I think for a lot of people, especially with the money issue, they think that the money is going to make them happy, but it's not the money, it's the things that you can do with the money. And if they drill down to why they want a certain amount of money and what they want to do with it, how it makes them feel, that's the key. That's the piece.
Right.
And that's, like Pete talked about, the philanthropy. We have a number of great causes here locally that we love to support. And the more we can attract into our lives, the more of those charities we can support, and we absolutely love doing that. It's for us personally, it's not about the material things. It's not about a car or the house or the boat or any of that stuff. It's about how we can impact other people's lives by attracting abundance into our own lives.
Well, that's just a powerful insight. And if you're just joining me, I'm speaking with Peter and Robin Adams, and Peter is the author of Visualization, and this is the dynamic duo, and we're talking about how to have an hour of power in your life daily and begin to create miracles. So, Peter, really quickly, so just the 5 or 6 things that you do, if you could just quickly run through them. I am means what, and explain to my listeners just what that means really quickly, and then we'll get to some of your other techniques. Go ahead.
Sure. Thanks, Constance. The I am piece that I was talking about earlier is when you say I am, that's like a declaration to the universe. It's like, and whatever you say of that, be it good or bad, will be true for you. So if you say, I am a failure, that is like some of the most horrible language you could ever say to yourself or your soul. You are never a failure. You are loved. You are a great, whatever you, I am, and say something wonderful about it. I am a billionaire. And it's like, you can declare it, you can have it, but you've got to believe it. And acting from the I am is almost like you're telling the universe what's going to happen. I am a philanthropist. Well, start acting like a philanthropist, and before you know it, it's going to show up in your reality because you decided, you made the decision that is truly what you wanted to be. So be real strong and real clear about what it is you say that you are.
Right.
You use I am. It's like saying to God, make this. This is what I want. This is what I'm going to have.
And you talked about the whole gratitude, how grateful you are. That's really important. But the creating your ideal scene, specifically, that means that listeners all over the world would pick out, let's just say if they wanted love in their lives, they would choose one scene where they might be with that person and put the feeling behind that. Explain what that means. What does an ideal scene mean?
Okay, to recap, Constance, the ideal scene is, it's like, the best way I can say is, imagine it's 5 years from now, and everything in your whole life worked out perfectly. Everything you wanted right now, and you wrote down as your goals, all showed up, and it all showed up. And that, when it shows up, that's what I call my ideal scene. So maybe it could be a person, they want to be in a relationship, maybe start a family. So they see themselves, their ideal scene would be looking in the future and getting in the feeling of now and seeing themselves being in a loving relationship, having the feeling that they're in a loving relationship, and maybe spending time with their children and having fun, playing with them and just feeling that joy. And one thing I want to add to that is, don't try to project a certain person when you're trying to do that kind of exercise in the ideal scene, because that person you're projecting, they might not be the ideal people for you. So, have it as a feeling. Don't attach a face to that feeling. That's just one of the things I want to warn people about, because people get caught up. Well, I wanted that to happen, and he's with somebody else or she's with somebody else. Well, maybe it wasn't for your highest and best purpose. So don't worry about that.
I always say I want my highest good to really manifest in my life. And so, Robin and Peter, do you feel that this hour of power, like once you finish with your hour of power and during the day, do you feel more empowerment? Do you feel that you get more downloads from God, maybe about business matters? How has it really impacted just your day-to-day life?
Rob, you want to go first?
Sure, I'll go first. That's a great question, Constance. For me personally, it has it's the best part of my day. It's the part of that I get up in the morning and look forward to. Besides going to the gym, of course, because I love to work out.
Right.
But it's become, for me, it's become an hour that I get to spend working on myself, for myself, for Pete and I, where I can just totally create and have fun with it. I'm having so much fun writing out the ideal scenes and writing out my goals. Pete always, would ask me, do you have any goals? And I would say, yeah, I have goals. And he would say, are they written down? And I would say, no, they're in my head. And he would say, they're not goals. If they're not written down, they're goals. So I'm having so much fun writing all this stuff down. For me, the visualization or the creative visualization piece of it is coming. I'm not quite there as Pete is. I haven't practiced the grid technique yet, but I'm going to. But for me, I feel like I think I said this earlier. I feel like a director of a movie. I'm writing out my ideal scenes and scripting them, and it's so much fun. My mind is just I actually can't wait to get there and to what's going to come out of my head today, because every day it's different.
Right. Robin,
so,
I appreciate your vulnerability, because a lot of people listening may say, wow, Pete's been at this for a while, but it's hard for me to even keep my mind focused for a minute or two. And so I appreciate you sharing just how progressively you've been moving into utilizing these techniques, and how just progressively you've been moving into really experiencing this hour of power, so that people won't feel so overwhelmed by it.
I think that it is overwhelming, but it's something that I think everybody should absolutely do. They deserve to live the life of their dreams, and they deserve to treat themselves well, and they deserve to have this time so that they can get back to their soul and get back to where they truly want to be.
Right. And Peter, your experience, doing the day after you do this, do you feel more in tune business-wise, or are you more sensitive? How does it impact your day?
Well, one of the things that I thought, Constance, is that I've been practicing these techniques, and really, especially really after writing the book, is I'm just like, I'm using so much intuition right now. I'm just listening, and the ideas are coming in, and it's not like I'm chasing it. It's not like I'm in business chasing the ideas down. I'll have an insight that'll come in, and there might be, maybe I should talk to this. For some reason, I'll have a feeling that I should be doing business with this person. Mm-hmm. And like this happened the other morning. I got home and I sent an email to a friend of mine and I said, hey, I don't know why, but somebody is telling me we're supposed to be doing something here. And it was so funny because he came back with, I had the same exact thought. So now we're working on a new thing, and it's really exciting. It's called the Vibe Project. Actually, it's vibeproject.org. And I teamed up with two great guys, Miles Blunt and Clay Marafiotti, and these guys want to change the world. And
right.
And they invited me on, and I'm just like, you change the world, make it better? Sign me up. Let me raise my right hand. I'm in. So it's just that kind of thing. Those kind of things happen, and just pay attention. The messages and the answers are always coming to you. It's just, are you open to listening to them, and you realize, are you paying attention? Is probably my biggest question. If you pay attention, you'll hear them. You'll get the answers that you need.
That's so true. I feel smarter. I feel that God downloads ideas and concepts and just a word or contact this person into my mind. And because you've been one with God and one with Spirit, and when you're one with God, you're one with all the wisdom that there is. So it's a powerful concept. So Pete and Robin, what about somebody who says, I am so busy, I don't have time for an hour of power? That's good. That's good for Robin and Pete. They down there lying down on the beach getting a tan, but I have 3 children.
All right, well, let me get to that one, because back when I started practicing these techniques, back before 12 Crazy Goals, when I had these monster financial challenges, and it always felt like it was hopeless, and I knew I had to do something. So I started doing my hour of power. And here's the biggest thing. Everyone in the world gets 24 hours a day. Mm-hmm. Just get up earlier or stay up later. It's on your time. But commit to having that time to do your hour of power. It has to be done between 7 and 8 a.m. every day. It's whenever you decide to fit it into your schedule. But we all have schedules, and we have control over them. And when people tell me they don't have enough time, I say, how many hours a week do you watch TV? And they're like, well, I watch 7 hours at night. And I'm like, that's 49. That's like a second full-time job. So don't tell me you don't have time. You can find the time. And and if you do this, you take the time, you work on these techniques and the visualization system, you're going to manifest miracles in your life. And if you can't find an hour a day to change your life and make it magnificent, then you probably should stop listening to Constance's show because you're not going to get anything out of it.
Peter, I love your directness. And what would you say to a busy mom out there, Robin, who says, wow, Robin, you have this rich man taking care of you. You guys are on the beach. You're running. You're going to the gym, and I have 3 children. What would you say to a woman? I mean, woman to woman, what would you say?
Well, Constance, I tend to agree with Pete. If it's something that is important to you, you're going to find the time to do it. For me, going to the gym and running has always been very important, so I found the time to do it. It's all about scheduling, being organized. We don't have any children, and I can't imagine what it's like to be a single mom with kids, but it's so important that it's like eating or taking care of your body. If you want change in your life and you want things to happen, you have to take action. And the hour of power is part of taking that action. And maybe you don't have a whole hour. Maybe you only have a half an hour. And if you start small, you can gradually get into making it an hour. Maybe you only have 15 minutes, but putting aside some time for yourself is important because it's going to enhance yourself. Therefore, it's going to enhance your children and the people in your family and the people around you. If you're good, they're good.
And it's so powerful because I think this is foundational. I think that people are doing techniques and listening to podcasts, but this is like the anchor, Peter, that really get people moving, and from that place they will be able to manifest. And I always say, if you can't find the hour, you're too busy.
Oh yeah, and the biggest thing is I noticed a lot of people they're listening to great shows, but they're not taking the action, and the action piece is that's how it changes. Listening to these wonderful concepts, and they're only concepts if you don't apply them. When you apply them, they become laws of the universe, and they work. And it's you listen to this stuff is not going to change your life. Change your life is going to be to decide you're going to change your life. Set your goals. Believe that it's here and now, and have gratitude for it. And the stuff is going to show up. I mean, I'm not making this stuff up. I wrote a book about it. First 3 chapters were all miracles. And I'm just a regular guy. I'm not some avatar or something beamed in here. I'm just a normal Joe who stumbled on these techniques, and I've had miracles in my life. I mean, you can't take my word for it. Do it yourself, and you can take your own word for it because it's going to happen.
Right, because it is a universal law that will work for anyone that will work it. So, Peter, are you working on another book, or what other projects do you have going on?
Well, one of the great things we have, thanks for asking, Constance. One of the great things we have right now is we're almost done with our home study course. It should be done probably within 7 days. And that builds on the book, and it really has a ton of exercises in it. So, it's you can you don't need to fly to St. Petersburg, Florida, or some other place to learn these techniques. You can if you buy our home study course, do the exercises and commit to doing this thing and make it a part of your life, you're going to achieve miracles, and that's really, really exciting for us because our whole thing is we want everyone to have the life of their dreams because everyone deserves to have the life of their dreams. And if you're not living that right now, what you're seeing you don't like, well, start seeing things being better and living in the now, and it'll show up. And one more thing to wrap up on that was if I can just say that website is our website is www.visualfestation.com, and you also visit us at peterdadams.com. And the Buy Project, I want to have a bunch of people travel to that site because it's buyproject.org, and there's just going to be a wonderful amount of free material out there to assist everyone living the life of their dreams.
Well, if you have not gotten Peter's book, I have his book, and I'm looking right now at his CDs. And Peter, I love it that you listen to your own CDs. I do the same thing. You've got to get this Visualfestation, how to visualize and manifest the life of your dreams. But now he's going to have an accompanying workbook that's going to be a step-by-step process. I think it's going to give you techniques and strategies and exercises that he and Robin are sharing tonight that you can do wherever you are. If you're in California or Texas or New York, you can sit on your balcony. You may not be close to the water or the ocean, but you can sit on your balcony and begin to implement these universal principles in your life. So, Robin, in closing tonight, what would you like to leave with people?
Constance, I think the power of empowering yourself through making a decision and taking action is, and I'm very proud of myself for taking the initiative and taking the steps to allow myself to experience this hour of power and experience all of the techniques that Pete talks about in his book. And I want that for other people. It's very empowering to be able to share this with other people. And one thing that we didn't talk about was the Law of Attraction meetup groups. For your listeners out there who may not know, there is a website called meetup.com, which has it's a website that helps groups of people share interest in planning meets or forming clubs all around the world. And you can go on and you can put your zip code in or your city and state, and you can find Law of Attraction meetup groups. And being able to surround yourself with like-minded people and other people who are practicing these techniques and many, many others is something that everyone should do for themselves.
Great insight. Thank you for that, Robert. And Peter, lastly, what would you like to leave with listeners all over the world tonight?
Oh, my typical closing statement is always this: there's nothing that you cannot be, do, or have, and you deserve it. So, if you're not living the life of your dreams, that's your decision. Because once you make the decision that you're going to have the life of your dreams, you will have the life of your dreams.
Well, Robin and Peter Adams, I love you. Thank you so much for joining me tonight. I know that you're going to be a blessing to people all over the world. Once again, this is Constance Arnold with the Think, Believe, and Manifest Talk Show. Thank you so much for joining me. Tell 3 of your friends about the show. I'm on every Sunday night. That's 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And for my great and awesome listeners on the West Coast, that is 4 p.m. I'm so excited about how this podcast will change your life. My website, once again, is fulfillingyourpurpose.com. Remember to practice your hour of power and begin to create and expect a miracle.
Thanks for joining us today on Think, Believe, and Manifest. We'll be back next week with another great show. For more information, go to fulfillingyourpurpose.com.